Hello and welcome to my three thought video. Today I'm in the book of Numbers, chapter 16, verse 3. Verse 3, they came as a group to oppose Moses and Aaron and said to them, "You've gone too far." There's a lot of context. This is a rebellion that's led by a couple of people who've gathered 250 leaders that are known in the Israeli leadership, and they form a mob and they come to Moses and they basically say, "Hey, who made you chief? I think that you should spread out the leadership." And it's just this rebellion that happens because of one man's um, a big ego, I guess. And my main takeaway from this is mob, right? How does a mob work? Why does a mob happen? What is going on when there's a mob that's created? And I think anytime we operate outside good leadership and then mobs form, there's sort of a spirit in the air, sort of this real evilness that's apparent. We see it later in Jesus. Actually, we're going to talk about it when Judas leads a mob. But anytime we find ourselves in a mob situation, we really have to watch out. And then later, as I was thinking about this whole experience, it occurred to me that Moses' leadership and his eyes on the flock, right? His eyes on the people, as well as his eyes on his own heart and his own failing, and his eyes on his fellow leaders. A leader in the church and in business always has to keep an eye on his own soul, his own heart, always has to keep an eye on his fellow leaders, those around him, those with him, beneath him, however the structure's set up. And then always keep an eye on the people that we lead. We have to be hands-on with all of them. And if we take our eyes off, our people because of the vision, because of what we're looking at, or because of the busyness of our own lives, there'll be failure. We just have to keep an eye on these things. In Song of Solomon, there's a verse, Song of Solomon 3, verse 8, all of them wearing the sword, all experienced in battle, each with his sword at his side, preparing for the terrors of the night. And this is just a really good image of a warrior, right? He's prepared. He's got the sword, the truth, right? We don't go against the enemy with our own feelings, our own imaginations, our own wisdom, our own knowledge. We go with the word of God, the truth, Jesus, right? And I love this idea that it's at his side. He's ready to use it, like it's close by. And then experience, this idea that we're experienced, and then finally that the terrors of the night. And then it occurred to me, how do we prepare for battle? And the idea that I had is that we practice in the here and in the now, in the small little battles, in the small battles of the heart, in the small battles within our own family, the small battles within our community, so that when the time arises that a really big and more bold battle arises, we're prepared. We have that experience. We're not afraid of the terror. We know the voice of God. We know our own calming way, how to be wise and listen and go into battle without fear. And then finally, it's chapter 22 of Luke in verse 53. But this is your hour when darkness reigns. It's the moment when Judas comes with a crowd and goes to kiss him, and then there's a little scuffle, and Jesus says, "This is the hour when darkness reigns." And my thought about that is that to be aware of your hour, time and space around you, what time that you're in, what hour are you in, what is the consolation and the desolation, what is going on within you, just you, that's consoling, that is spirit-filled, that is God with you, the withness of God, even the palpable withness of God. I was thinking about that earlier, just the sense that you're aware, you have discernment that it's a moment and a time, and in a space where God's with you and you're consoled, or also be aware, be discerning of those times and those spaces, those places and times where you're in desolation, where the enemy is rampant, he's gaining control, he's moving and acting. Be aware of those. This is actually the key to spiritual direction. If you are in a space where you are uncertain of the time and the space and the desolation or the consolation, the spirits that are moving within you and around you, great conversation for spiritual direction, for a spiritual director. I'm Alec. This is Coaching the Red Line. You can find me on the internet at coachingtheredline.com, Facebook at Coaching the Red Line, or you can call me. My phone number, 509-999-3305. I hope you're doing great, and we'll talk to you next time.